Good morning and welcome to Community Roundtable, a free public service brought to you on AM 1590 KDJS. If you're a member of a nonprofit organization and would like to be featured on the program, call the KDJS Newsline at 320-235-2900. That's 320-235-2900.
Our Community Roundtable show this Memorial Day weekend is going to feature some different things, some fun things for you. Al Sheldon near AM 1590, FM 105.7. We're going to talk Renville County Historical Society today and some things you can do over Memorial Day and beyond. A very special guest we're going to have on. Remember a TV show called The Biggest Loser? Bob Harper, who was on the show helping people lose weight, gain control. Of all people, Bob, who's one of the most in-shape guys you'll ever meet, had a heart attack 2 years ago. We're going to talk about that and what he's done since then, why it happened, what happened, and what's going on in his life. Now, we want to lead off with something we all love and hold near and dear to our hearts, probably, and that would be the old backyard barbecue. If you listen to our sister station, K95.3, you hear Rick from Appliance Home Center, sometimes helping out on our NASCAR contest and usually putting a whooping on us when it comes to winning the contest. Rick, how you doing this morning?
You know what? I'm doing all right, and you're being very kind on the whooping comment.
Oh, well, sometimes we get it. Rick has Appliance Home Center, formerly Collins here in Wilmer on South 1st Street, and thanks for tuning in. I know when we talk NASCAR over on 95.3, I always like to ask you what's cooking at your place, because I know you've got a grill going or you're going to have one going, and you've got some for sale, obviously. And I think this Memorial Day weekend, that might be something kind of fun to talk about, is grills. I mean, there's so many different kinds. How do you start somebody out when they're saying, what do I need? What do you tell them?
It's a great question. The traditional grilling, of course, we've always associated maybe camping with our parents or growing up. The Kingsford charcoal with a little pyramid of briquettes that we wait 20 minutes. And so, in our youth, sometimes grilling was associated with a fun family experience. And the food, of course, tastes fantastic, but takes a little while. It takes a little bit to get to the grilling time. And then over the years, say the last 20 years or so, we've evolved into primarily LP fuel. You get the 20-pound cylinder and you can grill, and your grill is ready in 5 to 6 minutes at 400 degrees for the burgers, brats, chops, or dogs. And now, recently, over the last 8 to 10 years, it's kind of taken on a whole new, people are grilling for competitions and smoked ribs and brisket, and we've got grills now that burn with a natural lump charcoal. We've got wood pellets, so you get that delicious smoke flavor, but you have the speed of gas. And then, of course, we have the traditional old Weber kettle, and then the gas grills. So we have all the gamut covered through the industry of grilling.
So it's a matter of personal preference, then, is what you're saying.
Very much so. Everyone, everything tastes good coming off a grill. It's really hard to not have the food taste good. So then it comes down to not everybody likes the flavor of smoke. So if you're grilling with a burning of charcoal or wood pellet or something like that, you cannot avoid smoke. It has smoke as part of the flavor. Some people love that flavor. So oftentimes that's where we start when someone's looking for a grill. Do you like the smoke flavor? And then we go from there. Yeah,
and like I say, lots of sizes, lots of varieties. And it's funny how you evolve as you move on in life. I mean, the grills get bigger and bigger and bigger when you've got kids, and bigger when the kids bring their little babies around and they grow up a little bit. And then you get to the point in life where maybe it's just my wife and I out camping, and we kind of shrink back down to a smaller size just for the two of us,
Yeah, well, and that's something that I completely missed, and we actually sell a fair amount of electric grills.
Really?
So they have just a burner and a plate, and that the grease drippings, the fat from the food typically will fall on this plate, and that heating element will create smoke or the flavor. That's where the good grilling flavor comes from. We were down visiting my in-laws, and he's got, like you described, the big full family 48-inch behemoth on the deck, and it's a wonderful gas grill. And then right next to it, he has this little electric that he had bought for his fifth wheel tucked it underneath and thought, you know what, when it's just the two of us, so he doesn't leave it in the camper anymore. He's got it on the back deck. When it's just the two of them, they want a grilled chicken or something, they just pull out. He does that electric, and he said the food tastes just as good as any gas grill he's ever owned.
Wow. And you only know by talking to people and by asking, okay, how do you like this? What are the pros? What are the cons? One thing I want to get into, Rick, would be safety. You mentioned electric. You mentioned grease. You mentioned fire with the charcoal and everything. There are a lot of things you maybe just want to tend the grill. You don't want to leave it unattended, do you?
Well, yeah, for sure. The primary safety is, of course, paying attention, and most things are manageable. They're not catastrophic when someone is present. On the flip side, people want to be part of the party. They want to be with family, maybe watching a ball game on a Sunday afternoon. You don't want to just sit there and babysit the grill. So what we recommend is to give a thorough cleaning once a year. Primarily, things that go wrong with the grill hinge on a buildup of grease or something flammable. So if you can take your time, just give a once-over. You don't need it to be spotless. You don't have to put the pressure washer on it. Just take a putty knife, scrape off the grease, scrape off the excess from the burner, the flavor bars. Usually there's some catch tray or something in the bottom that's catching the excess grease. I would bet comfortably 95, 98% of the time that there is some form of a fire out of control with a grill. It's hinged on an excess amount of grease buildup.
Something to keep in mind, and that would be not to get the grill too close to your garage or your house or a building. The back of the grills get a little hot. Yeah, I'm speaking from experience.
That's an excellent point. Absolutely, we have grills. Most grills can easily get up to 650 degrees, sometimes more. And if you have siding or cedar siding, most definitely pull it away from the house. Even in the winter, we like to grill in Minnesota. Even January, February, pull it away from the house a little bit before you put her, or if you're going to be grilling, because to melt some siding doesn't take much.
No, it doesn't. Thank goodness that happened before we re-sided.
I can speak from experience as well.
Yeah. My little adventure there by the garage was covered up by the fact that we had hail a few years after that, and we had to re-side. So.
Oh, there you go. That's a bonus. Well,
yeah, gosh.
Yeah, that's I'll always use caution. We've had people that have put covers, leather, vinyl covers on grills that were still hot and have melted. There certainly is some use and care to be aware of. Enjoy the grilling experience, enjoy the food, but absolutely use caution and be careful.
And when you've got the little guys and gals known as grandchildren running around, make sure they make a wide arc around the grill. We have that at our place. Okay, you kids stay away from there,
Yep, it's hot. We have little signs. We do some grilling demos down here at the store, and when we get busy with a customer or whatnot, I'm always nervous about the grills outside, even though we have signs, hot grill sign. But it doesn't take much for some burned fingertips or God forbid worse. So yeah, please. Keep the kids away from the grilling area. That's or at least a safe distance, no question.
I've been to a couple of your grilling events at the store, Rick. Mighty tasty, and that leads me to ask: do you still have the big green eggs?
We do still have the big green egg. That is our favorite Saturday demo. That is a charcoal. It's a lump charcoal grill. And, kind of going full circle back to the beginning of our conversation here, it gives you the smoke flavor, the flexibility of temperature, but you don't have to wait the 20 minutes like the old, charcoal pyramid that we'd wait for them to get gray. The green egg cooks with wood, charcoal, and it's ready in 5 to 6 minutes for most of what we like to grill.
A lot of us might be intimidated by some of the grills that have to be put together.
Yeah, the knuckle busting and extra parts and parts are parts. We do appreciate that reality. Got a gentleman that does all our grill assembly, so he can put them together. Even after a couple hundred grills a year assembly, it still takes him almost a half hour per grill. So, yep, we do sell our grills here at our store. Assembled, we do have some in a box if a person doesn't have a vehicle that, or if they're hauling at a distance, whatever. But otherwise, yep, we put the grills together. Free drop-off. We'll bring it out to the house. Again, most people don't have a vehicle that can haul a big grill, so the green egg. One thing we haven't touched on, if we have just another minute here, is we have indirect grills. When you talk about safety, it's a grill that has a burner with a plate over it. So we have grills that actually come with a guarantee to never flare up.
Really?
It's a different style of grilling, takes a little bit longer, but there is no safer way to grill than that. So it's a plate that sits over the burner. So yeah, that's something that we'd sure be happy to show as well.
Well, I'll tell you what, when it comes to knowledge and tips and safety and putting things together for you, we've mentioned this before. You can't beat shopping local. My gosh, you get the advice, the knowledge, somebody that can lead you to what will work best for you.
Well, and we sure do try hard. We appreciate the support of our local community. We've been very blessed for our 19 years here in Wilmer, and we hope to be here another 19. The other side of grills that, we always want to be happy and helpful when someone's walking in, but customers that come in that are replacing a dishwasher that is no longer working or a washer, they're always friendly and whatnot, but there's something about a customer coming to look at a grill that we just have a lot of fun. We enjoy visiting, and it's almost like a child. When people buy a grill, they'll stop back in and tell us, "Oh, I made a brisket the other night, or a Boston butt, and that new grill." So we sure appreciate the opportunity and the support, and of course the follow-up of the wonderful tasting food.
Gosh, Rick, 19 years. You know what that means?
I'm old.
I was just going to say that. We're getting older, man.
I know, right? It doesn't seem possible, but yeah, we moved here in February of 2000, so we made the math nice and easy. That moving in an even-numbered year, a zero year, makes it easy to keep track. But yeah, April we had our 19th birthday, and yeah, we just can't thank our customers and those that have given the ultimate sacrifice. Thank you. It's hard to say Happy Memorial Day when you really look at the history of the holiday, but we hope everyone has a blessed weekend and time spent with family and friends.
That is Rick at the Appliance and Home Center, a part of our Community Roundtable program today. We continue with our program today, Al Sheldon here. With Memorial Day weekend right here, we're in the middle of it right now. Let's say hi to Nicole Elzinga with the Renville County Historical Society. Lots to see and do, especially this time of year when we kind of get this holiday going here, Nicole. And tell me a little bit about the Renville County Historical Society. Location, how do we find you and everything?
Yeah, Al, we are located in the Minnesota River Valley in Morton, Minnesota, right off of Highway 19 and 71, just down the hill from Birch Coulee, the awesome county park that we have in Renville County.
And are the parks open right now? How are they doing?
I believe okay. I know the last rain that we had, I haven't seen any updates, but usually I get a Facebook message telling me when the parks are open. The ones that I know, Anderson Lake is one of them. That's one of the issues, but we love our parks.
Oh, yeah. Since you mentioned Birch Coulee, there's a lot of history there, of course. Could you tell me a little bit about that?
I was just out there the other day. The trails are beautiful. If you got to do a little bit of walking and then get some steps on your step monitor, this is a place to go. It's right up the hill from us, along with the monuments, the Morton monuments we call them, which is on the other side of us. Come on, stop by the museum, learn a little bit more history, and I'll give you directions.
The history part of Birch Coulee goes back to the Dakota War, right?
Correct, War of 1862.
And what exactly happened there?
A huge battle, a lot of horses died, the Indians kind of attacked, and if you go out there, you see exactly how vulnerable the troops were in that area.
I was recently at Fort Ridgely, and I know you're not too far from Fort Ridgely, of course. And I'm guessing some of the parks you're talking about now, Birch Coulee, you've got little plaques laid out. This was here. Here's what happened here. Things like that, or.
That is correct. There's storyboards along the walk, and then, of course, the Minnesota River Byway. You can go along the bottom road and see more history about the Dakota War.
Now, if I stop by the Renville County Museum in Morton, what am I going to see today? What's all going on?
Today, we are open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Sadly, we are closed on Memorial Day. And then our summer hours start June, July, August. We are open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 4.
You cover all events, all types of things, history of Renville County, then?
We do the whole history of Renville County. Right now, currently, we'll have World War I exhibits still up. We had the traveling exhibit here, which is moving to Redwood County Historical Society this week. But then we still have our World War I exhibit up, and then Fairfax is our featured town for the year.
And when you say featured town, what'd you dig into, what'd you find?
We will have items from the school, businesses, history, citizens. They were the winner from the Renville County Fair last year. We do a donate to vote contest, and they won, and we'll feature them. And then at the fair in Renville County the Renville County Historical Society building, Building 4, at the fairgrounds in August, we'll have Bird Island as a featured town.
And, of course, the fair in Bird Island, as we all know. Great county fair, by the way. What a beautiful set of fairgrounds there, you know.
And I have a beautiful building we fill up with history.
Now, where in Morton exactly can we find you at?
We are at 441 North Park Drive, which is right across from the City Park in Morton. There are signs. And you can reach us at our website, renvillecountyhistory.com. And you can give us a shout, 507-697-6147. We're always looking for community groups to come visit us.
I was just going to ask that. Do you have a lot of groups, a lot of retired people groups or business groups, kids from school?
We do. We just had a bunch of school groups that came through, and we'll love having those kids, different ages, 3rd grade through 8th grade. So awesome history. We like to make butter and show them the schoolhouse. We have 6 buildings on our museum grounds. You
make butter?
Yes, we shake it in the jar and turn it into beautiful butter that they get to sample.
Just going to say, how do you do that? Yeah, you know, I'm envisioning the old butter churn with the stick, the big wooden stick, you know.
Right, we actually use a mason jar with a lid and just heavy whipping cream, and you shake it for 7 to 9 minutes. It separates the buttermilk from the butter, and then you put a little salt in there, or you put them on some saltines, and it's delicious.
Kids get a little snack a little bit, huh?
Yes, and they have to work for it.
For fun, yeah. What other kind of things would we see if I walked through the front door today? What kind of exhibit, aside from World War I?
Yeah, we have an awesome research center. So if you are from Renville County, more than likely we have a family file on you. So come on down and start doing your genealogy. We also have 2 microfilm readers, and we have all the newspapers from Renville County on microfilm up to 2008, and then hard copies of the other ones.
Wow. Gosh, you go back... I was just talking last year, as a matter of fact, to a guy. This was down, I believe, at Fort Ridgely, as a matter of fact. What would you recommend for reading, local reading, somebody who's written books when it comes to not only the history of Renville County, but go back to the Dakota War era also? There have been numerous books. Which one is better? How would you start out?
Well, currently we just printed between Renville County and Redwood County Historical Societies a book by Curtis Darlene, which is a guidebook to the U.S.-Dakota War of 1862 in Minnesota. A guidebook where it takes you GPS locations and color photographs of all the monuments and markers of the Dakota War in Minnesota and several other states.
Wow.
$24.95. You can get it on our website, or you can stop by the gift shop and buy it right here.
Very cool. I live in New London. We, of course, had that era, 1860, 1862, stretch all the way north, as you all know, New London, Paynesville, west of New London, Norway Lake. And walking my dog one day, a few years back, I discover a large monument and the grave marker in a local cemetery right in town of the people who lost their lives out by Norway Lake in that battle west of New London. It stopped me in my tracks there for a minute, you know.
It is. They're very remarkable monuments, and currently we, trying to figure out how to make sure we take care of them and that they are preserved, so the history is preserved.
So you've got a map. I know there are markers all over Candiac County. I've seen some in Renville County. Other counties as well, Redwood, Yellow Medicine, further south?
That is what's great about Curtis's guidebook. It marks all of them.
Wow. Very nice.
And I know Candiac County Historical Society has one for their county, and we have one for our county. But this one marks the whole state of Minnesota and the other states that were involved.
How many people help you out with the Renville County Historical Society?
We love having volunteers. I have a volunteer that does genealogy, another one that's helping us go through our church files, and we just, doing tours. We do guided tours here at the museum grounds because we're so spread out. So we're always looking for some volunteers that want to preserve history and learn more.
Very good. Well, Nicole, it has been a pleasure to chat with you here for a few minutes. So much to learn, so much more to learn. And again, that phone number that we can contact you at, anybody wants to call, make sure you're open, stop on by. What's that?
Script 507-697-6147. And remember, reach out to us on Facebook. We are on Facebook.
All right, very good. Nicole Alzenga with us, Renville County Historical Society in Morton. Make that a part of your weekend and summertime fun right here in West Central Minnesota. Well, Bob Harper, let's talk about fitness. Let's talk about heart health. Of all people to have a heart attack, we never thought that you would a couple of years ago, because we watched you on The Biggest Loser and loved the show, and gosh darn it, you're in shape. What happened?
I know. Just over 2 years ago, I was in a gym in New York City, and the next thing I knew, I woke up in a hospital 2 days later being told that I had a widowmaker, and it changed my life forever. These past 2 years have been a real emotional experience for me.
A friend of mine at the age of 42 died of a widowmaker. How did you manage to survive? What did doctors do? That's amazing to me.
Let me tell you, Al, the only way I survived that heart attack was where I had my heart attack. There were people there that knew CPR, knew how to work an AED, because if I would have been anywhere else and didn't have that kind of help, I wouldn't be here talking with you right now.
And this can happen to anybody, obviously, no matter what fitness level you are at. I mean, after, like we said, watching you on the show for, 16, 17 seasons and enjoying. How does it change your life? As in shape as you are, what do you do now to even stay better?
Well, I had to change everything, and I think that what I'm doing right now is really trying to bring awareness. I'm trying to bring awareness to other people that potentially could have a heart attack, who have had a heart attack and are recovering from that heart attack. This whole campaign that I'm working on right now, Survivors Have Heart, is super personal for me because I'm going through it just like everybody else.
That's, a question that a lot of us have. I've never had a heart attack. I hope I don't. I
hope you don't either.
There's no guarantee. But how do you know you're having one? Unless it just totally knocks you out. I mean, sometimes there are symptoms that lead up to one that you can kind of zero in on.
Yeah, sure. I mean, on the website survivorshaveheart.com, there's a lot of information. But the one tip that I tell people is that you really need to know your body from the inside out. You need to have a relationship with your doctors that are helping you to live a healthy life. And let me tell you, I thought that I was doing everything right, and come to find out, I had an issue that I wasn't aware of, and now that I am, let me tell you, I'm doing everything that my doctors tell me to do.
Can you be made aware of that issue? Through the
absolutely. And again, it goes back to people, I think, get so nervous about getting a checkup because I think for me, you think that you're doing everything right, so you say to yourself, there's no way anything could happen to me. And I think that when you have that relationship with your doctors and you are really proactive, you can do all the things that you can do to prevent having a heart attack to the best of your ability.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of that starts with diet and exercise, of course, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that diet and exercise is hugely important.
And, of course, genetics we could do nothing about, but on you go. You're an author. Have you written about this specific episode yet? Or?
Yes, I did. In my last book, The Super Carb Diet, I talk a lot about my recovery and what I was going through. But I think that it's gotten so much more personal now with this campaign that I'm working on, Survivors Have Heart, because I went through the first year of my heart attack, and I didn't know if I was coming or if I was going out. You know, it was like everything was so new, and now going into that second year, it's really opened my eyes. And we did this campaign last year, and it was so successful that we really wanted to work toward building it bigger, and now going on, hitting the road, and going to different places and talking to other survivors. I mean, we're just trying to do everything that we can to bring awareness.
So you're doing a multifaceted campaign here then, obviously. Some radio, got the book, doing personal appearances. We're going to see you on TV anywhere?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, there's every chance I can to help people. That's what I'm going to do. It's like my career has always been about helping people in some way, shape, or form, and that's why this has just been something that it's organic, it fits, it's something that I'm super passionate about.
Well, you had some tremendously successful people on the Biggest Loser show. Have you stayed in touch with any of the folks? Are they still doing well?
I got to tell you, because there's been so many. I mean, we did 17 seasons of that show, and I was on every single one of the seasons. I have a couple of people that are very near and dear to me. Some people, I have one friend who was a winner of the show in season 11, and you know, she's out there. She's a fitness instructor, and she's staying super healthy. I mean, it's just
nice.
It's about changing in your life and actually committing to that change.
Boy, indeed it is. Did you and Jillian ever have a little personal competition, like who can do more of this, more of that, be in better shape, you know, off camera?
Let me tell you, that show brought up competition in every single person. We were all super competitive on that show.
Yeah, and Jillian really came on as the hard driving drill sergeant there sometimes, you know. I'd imagine off camera there's a few more smiles there, right?
You would think, right?
That's great, man. So many people know you, Bob, and are so dang happy that you survived this issue and are helping people to be even better. And just talking to you makes me want to go jog around the building twice more, you know.
Good. Well, make sure you got your rain suit on if it's raining out there.
Oh, the umbrella. I don't know, man. An umbrella, as we talk, the wind's blowing about 35 miles an hour, so an umbrella may not help. I'll be sailing across the street to the park, you know. All right. I know you're busy. We appreciate you spending some time here with us, Bob. It's a great issue, a great message. Is there any way people can get information online? You got an address or anything that people can look up to learn more?
Yeah, absolutely. Go on to survivorshaveheart.com.
Well, that's easy enough to remember. Survivors have hearts. You bet we do. Survivorshaveheart.com. Bob, thank you so much, and many, many good days coming to you down the road here, okay?
Thanks, Al.
That's Bob Harper. And that is our Community Roundtable. Thanks to Bob Harper from The Biggest Loser, Nicole at the Renville County Historical Society, and Rick at the Appliance and Home Center today on our program every Sunday morning at 7:30.
You've been listening to Community Roundtable, a free public service brought to you on AM 1590 KDJS. If you're a member of a nonprofit organization and would like to be featured on the program, call the KDJS Newsline at 320-235-2900. That's 320-235-2900.